So if I'm a candidate for office, what can you do to help me reach the people I need to reach?
That's a really good question, and we're really the experts in the phone space. So when it comes down to live calls, automated calls, text messages, or telephone town halls, we can really focus in on advocating and persuading voters to get out to vote for you. And how we can do that with our live calls is, we can ID voters and folks who already support you, and then those who don't. And how we can incorporate that is with our voter contact plans, so that way we can really maximize your budget, right? If people are, fully against you, there's no sense in spending a lot of time trying to, continue to get those folks out to vote. You can, dedicate some of your budget to trying to persuade them, the folks who are unsure. Those are absolutely a target audience that you want to keep in that universe. But those who are against you, you can remove those folks. And then through text messages and keeping in touch with folks of, especially before the primary or before the general election, of letting them know when the polls are open, right? Reminding them to get out, especially, for some of the primaries particularly, which aren't on a traditional Tuesday. That really kind of helps cement the importance of getting out and vote. Another excellent way to reach voters is through telephone town halls. This is an excellent way to get out to a large amount of folks who are in your district or in your state who otherwise might not have the availability to show up to an in-person event. And so you can reach out to those folks and tell them about why you're running for office and really have a personal story to tell where they can take that with them and they can move on. It's also a great tool to ask for volunteers and collect email addresses from folks, and really grow your grassroots network from the ground up.
So what can you do to help with early voting and absentee voting, making sure that we reach the right people at the right time?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a really good question. And early voting and absentee voting is really becoming a staple, and something that especially for the Republican side, we really need to make sure that we're focusing in on to win elections. And so what we can do is we can target out and ID those voters who plan on either voting early or plan on doing an absentee ballot. Once we ID those folks, we can help or encourage them of ways that they can obtain their absentee ballot, but then also send reminder text messages or phone calls to remind them when the deadline is coming up, so they actually send those ballots in so they can be counted and postmarked appropriately. And those who plan on voting early, letting them know when the polls are open, encouraging them to get out and do it and not wait until the last minute. And losing that opportunity to really have their voice and their vote heard and maximized.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I found recently is, everyone knows that they need to remove people from their list who've already voted, but not everyone has the time and wherewithal to do that. And so if we're going to run a phone program where we do several rounds of phone calls and text messages, removing folks who don't plan to vote for you certainly, but also the folks who've already voted, and when we're managing the entire program start to finish, that's something that we found can save folks up to 40% on their voter contact.
Yeah, we can, we take care of that all in-house. There's a lot of different states have different commissions, or, the auditors who release, who has already voted. So we can pull that information, or you can provide that information as a client, and we can remove those folks so that way we're not contacting folks who have already voted. As you mentioned, that helps save 40%, if not even a little bit more at times, on someone's budget. And when you're really counting dollars, especially on some of these localized races, it really helps you get the people that still need to get out to vote out to the polls, and persuade those who, especially in low turnout races, who might otherwise not have turned out to vote for you.
Yeah, absolutely. What size campaign would something like that work for?
Really any size campaign, right? We've worked on races from the courthouse to the White House, and so we can plug and play our services within the budget that you have to help you achieve the goals and the mission that you're trying to hit, whether it's for advocacy, persuasion, or to get you elected to office.